You may recognize this play, and you may even know how it was ruled at the time and after the protest was upheld by the American League president. But if you think the final decision from the incident applies to the NFHS level, you'd be wrong. So for the 2025 NFHS baseball season, the Baseball Rules Committee has made 2 changes to the rule book, which may seem small, but add clarifications that many umpires probably were not aware of, such as in the play we just showed. So in this video, we'll review those changes along with the case plays that help umpires better understand these rules. That way, when you have to handle this situation in a high school game, you can make the right call. Hi everyone, welcome to the 2025 NFHS baseball season. I'm Patrick Farber with Umpire Classroom, where we help umpires develop their knowledge and skills. If you're new here, be sure to subscribe to our channel, and if you're looking for a packaged course for new umpires, either for yourself or for use in your association, you can learn more by visiting our website, umpireclassroom.com. To start our review of the 2025 new rules, let's look at Rule 4-4-1, which covers forfeited games. It says, a game shall be forfeited to the offended team by the umpire when a team, C, delays more than a reasonable amount of time in resuming play or in not obeying the umpire's order to remove a player, coach, or team personnel for violations of the rules. Before breaking that down, let's quickly look at 3-3-2. A coach who is ejected shall leave the vicinity of the playing area immediately and is prohibited from further contact, direct or indirect, with the team during the remainder of the game. The coach may return when requested to attend to an ill or injured player. Ultimately, this addition to the rules clarifies that umpires can forfeit a game if a coach, after being ejected, continues to interact with the team or stays within the vicinity of the field. Personally, I think this is something we were allowed to do anyway, but certainly this addition to the rules is a good clarification of what actions we are allowed to take in these situations. Now, let's jump to the second rule change. This change is in Rule 1-3-2, which covers bats. It's been modified to say, resin, pine tar, or any drying agent to enhance the hold are permitted on the bat not to exceed beyond 18 inches from the base of the knob. This clarification serves several purposes. First, it clarifies that players can add pine tar to their metal bat, just like they potentially could with a wood bat. The second purpose is that it clarifies pine tar cannot go beyond 18 inches from the base of the knob, which is the same limitation placed in the official baseball rules and collegiate rules. Now, while this may sound like a small change, we need to look at how this rule at the NFHS level is different from the rules at the collegiate and professional levels. And let's do that by looking at one of the most infamous moments in MLB history, the George Brett pine tar incident. The date is July 24th, 1983, and the Kansas City Royals are playing at Yankee Stadium. They trail the Yankees 3-4 with 2 outs, and they have a runner on first base. On the second pitch of the at-bat, George Brett hits a home run over the right field fence. Then, after touching home, the Yankees manager requests Brett's bat be checked for excessive pine tar. Next, the umpire crew gets together, discusses the ruling, and then walks towards home plate. Now, not everyone knew what was going on at the moment, but the official baseball rules at the time and today say that pine tar cannot be applied to a bat beyond 18 inches from the knob of the bat. This is just like the rules at the collegiate and NFHS levels that we have now. So when the crew gets to home, they use the same technique that you can use in your game. The front edge of home plate at every level is 17 inches across. So by placing the knob of the bat at one end of the plate, we can accurately determine where 17 inches is from the knob. From there, it's pretty easy to estimate as to whether a foreign substance like pine tar goes further than an inch beyond the 17 inches. Of course, when the crew does that, they determine it does go beyond 18 inches and call George out. Then George loses his mind, and we've all seen the video. But what's interesting is that Kansas City protests the ruling, and the protest is upheld by American League President Lee MacPhail. MacPhail explains his decision by saying that pine tar is not an altering of the bat to improve distance, and that it is a rule simply to keep balls from needing to be replaced due to discoloration from the pine tar. For that reasoning, he orders that the home run does count and the game has to be completed later. So from that ruling, it does get clarified that in the official baseball rules, pine tar that goes beyond 18 inches is illegal. However, the only penalty given is that the bat must be replaced. So let's move on to the NCAA rule and note that it has a different penalty. Rule 1-12-EF penalty. If the bat has pine tar or a foreign substance beyond the 18-inch mark, the bat must be removed from the game and the player warned. If the practice continues, the player is to be ejected from the game. This infraction is not cause for calling the batter out. So just like the OBR interpretation, they don't want a misapplication of pine tar to impact the game. In both rule sets, any results from an at-bat using this bat will stand and there will never be any outs for it. NCAA does specify that a warning is given to that specific batter, and if the batter does it again, they can be ejected but not out. So what about the NFHS rule? Well, this is where we see a big difference. You see, the NFHS rules don't provide specific enforcement for pine tar violations. Instead, they only say a substance like pine tar can't go beyond 18 inches. Then, when we go to the rule 1-3-5, it notes that all bats that don't meet the rules are illegal and penalized under 7-4-1A, which says, a batter is out when the batter enters the batter's box with an illegal bat or is discovered having used an illegal bat. If the infraction is discovered before the next pitch following the turn at bat of the player who used an illegal bat, the defense may take the penalty or the result of the play. This means that if the George Brett incident happens in your game played under NFHS rules, then the ruling given on that day back in 1983 would be correct. The pine tar going beyond 18 inches makes the bat illegal, and he can be called out all the way until the next pitch following the turn at bat of the player who used the illegal bat. So if this had been your game under NFHS rules, the batter would be out and runners return to their position at the time of the pitch. So now that we've reviewed the two rules changes, let's go through some old and new case plays that should help you better understand the proper enforcement of these rules. Note, most of these are pulled directly from the case book, so they are official interpretations given to us by the NFHS. Case play number 1. A coach from Team A is ejected for violation of the rules and refuses to leave the vicinity of the playing area immediately. A, the game will remain suspended until the coach is escorted outside of the vicinity of the field. B, the game will be suspended immediately and the state association will determine if the game will be resumed or forfeited. C, the game should be forfeited to the opposing team if the refusal to leave causes a delay in the resumption of play. The correct answer here is C. We do need to give the coach a reasonable amount of time to leave the vicinity of the field, but if they fail to do so in a reasonable amount of time and delay the game, that is grounds for forfeit. This is given in the new case play 4.4.1 situation G. Case play number 2. The coach has been ejected for unsportsmanlike conduct. Later in the game, the coach's pitcher complains of a sore arm. The coach returns from the parking lot. Is this A, this is legal, or B, this is illegal? The correct answer here is B. This is illegal and the coach is not allowed to return to the field. The reason being, he's not allowed to return to the field to check on an injury unless requested by the umpires. So he can't just come back because his assistant coach calls for him or the trainer calls for him. You as the umpire have to approve or make the request for him to come back to the field to check on an injured player. Case play number 3. Which logo is required to be on a non-wood bat? The correct answer here is A. A non-wood bat is only legal if it has the BB Core stamp on it. For our umpires, you should note that the USA logo, the NFHS logo, any other logo does not affect whether or not the bat is legal for play. The important thing is, for a bat to be legal, it must be manufactured with the BB Core label. Case play number 4. Chase comes up to bat for the home team in the first inning. He's applied pine tar to the handle of his metal BB Core bat to improve grip. Is this legal? The correct answer here is yes. The new rule does clarify that they can add pine tar to a non-wood bat so long as it doesn't go beyond the 18 inches specified in the rules. Case play number 5. Greg comes up to bat with an illegal bat in the bottom of the first inning and steps into the batter's box. It is then detected by the umpire. This is the first use of an illegal bat detected by the umpire in this game. Is this A, Greg shall be instructed to replace the bat, B, Greg shall be called out, C, Greg shall be called out and restricted to the dugout. D, Greg shall be called out and ejected. The correct answer here is B, Greg shall be called out. Once he steps into the box with an illegal bat, at that point he could be called out. It's just a matter of whether or not the umpires or the other team notices. The important thing here, though, is that the penalty can be applied as soon as they step into the box, regardless of whether or not they see a pitch or make contact with their bat to the ball. Case play number 6. This is the same play given in the last question, except now we're noting that the head coach of the team is Lisa. What happens to the head coach in this situation? Is it A, Lisa is warned and instructed to have the bat removed from the dugout? B, Lisa is restricted to the dugout? Or C, Lisa is ejected? The correct answer here is B. Lisa is going to be restricted to the dugout. Anytime a team uses an illegal bat, the first time is going to be a restriction for the head coach. Any subsequent time they do that in the same game, it's going to result in the head coach being ejected. Case play number 7. In the same game, James comes up to bat with an illegal bat in the bottom of the 3rd inning and steps into the batter's box. It is then detected by the umpire. This is the second use of an illegal bat by the home team in this game. Is this A, James shall be instructed to replace the bat? B, James shall be called out? C, James shall be called out and restricted to the dugout? D, James shall be called out and ejected. The correct answer here is B. The only penalty that we apply to a batter for using an illegal bat is that the batter is going to be called out. Case play number 8. This is the same as the last question, except now we're asking about the head coach of the team, Lisa. Her assistant head coach is Eric. What happens to the head coach in this situation? Is it A, Lisa is warned and instructed to have the bat removed from the dugout? B, Lisa is restricted to the dugout? C, Lisa is ejected? D, Lisa is already ejected, Eric is now ejected. The correct answer here is C. Lisa is now going to be ejected from the game. For the first violation in that game where her team used an illegal bat, that results in the head coach being restricted. The second time it happens in a game, that coach is ejected. Case play number 9. In the same game, Cameron comes up to bat with an illegal bat in the bottom of the 5th inning and steps into the batter's box. It is then detected by the umpire. This is the third use of an illegal bat by the home team in this game. Is this A, Cameron shall be instructed to replace the bat? B, Cameron shall be called out? C, Cameron shall be called out and restricted to the dugout? D, Cameron shall be called out and ejected. The correct answer here is B. Again, it can be the same player or a different player every time there's an illegal bat used, but the only penalty for players is that the player will be called out. Case play number 10. This case play follows the last one, where Cameron was the third batter to use an illegal bat in the same game. Remember that the head coach of the team is Lisa. Her assistant head coach is Eric. What happens to the head coach in this situation? Is it A, Lisa is warned and instructed to have the bat removed from the dugout? B, Lisa is restricted to the dugout? C, Lisa is ejected? D, Lisa has already been ejected, Eric is now restricted to the dugout? E, Lisa has already been ejected, Eric is now ejected. The correct answer here is E. Lisa was already ejected because on the first violation, she got restricted. The second one, she's ejected, and the team only gets one restriction or warning through the entire duration of the game. So now the acting head coach, Eric, he's also getting ejected as well. Case play number 11. With his team trailing 4-3 in the top half of the 7th inning and 2 out, George comes up to bat. Before he steps into the box, the home team coach points out to the umpire that pine tar extends beyond the handle of the bat and 19 inches from the knob of the bat. Is this A, this is legal? B, this is illegal, the bat should be replaced? C, this is illegal, the batter is out. The correct answer here is B. This is an illegal bat because of how the pine tar is applied, but the out penalty can only apply once the batter steps into the box. So if either team notices it or the umpire before the player steps into the box, then they simply have to ask the player to replace the bat and not use the bat that they were potentially going to bat with. Case play number 12. With his team trailing 4-3 in the top half of the 7th inning and 2 out, George comes up to bat. After entering the box, the home team coach points out to the umpire that pine tar extends beyond the handle of the bat and 19 inches from the knob of the bat. Is this A, this is legal, B, this is illegal, the bat should be replaced, C, this is illegal, the batter is out? The correct answer here is C. The important thing is that in NFHS rules, an out can be enforced as soon as the batter steps into the box. So in this scenario, the question comes from the coach after the batter has already stepped into the box, and that means that the batter can be called out for using an illegal bat. Case play number 13. With his team trailing 4-3 in the top half of the 7th inning and 2 outs, George comes up to bat. After hitting a home run, the home team coach points out to the umpire that pine tar extends beyond the handle of the bat and 19 inches from the knob of the bat. Is this A, this is legal, B, this is illegal, the bat should be replaced, the play stands, C, this is illegal, the batter is out, the run does not score, D, this is illegal, the batter is out, the run does score? The correct answer here is C. This is illegal in all 3 rule sets. It's illegal in NFHS, it's illegal in collegiate, it's illegal in OBR. But the difference is the enforcement. In NFHS, the batter can be called out for using an illegal bat. That is not true in OBR or collegiate rules. So in our scenario, we have the batter being called out for using an illegal bat, and because the run scored as the result of the use of an illegal bat, the runner is going to be returned to his base with less than 2 outs. And since this scenario has 2 outs, then it really doesn't matter. No run is going to score on this play. So there you have it, our review of the 2025 NFHS baseball rules changes. If you found this video helpful, be sure to subscribe to our channel and check out our website at umpireclassroom.com. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you on the field.